G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. I'm excited to be back and I'm making another cocktail with the Australian whiskey that I have recently secured, Starward Fortis. This is a 100 proof whiskey. It's a very new thing for the Starward. It's a single malt. It's got its own character. I'm sure people would want to compare it to Scotches or possibly to bourbons. I think it compares more to Scotch whiskey than American whiskey. It's pretty good. I made a Boulevardier Australian version with this. Now I'm going to do an Australian twist on an old-fashioned. There's an old-fashioned twist. It's called a rusty nail. It's basically just the whiskey and Drambuie. I'm going to make an old-fashioned with the Fortis and put an Australian macadamia and wattle seed liqueur in it called Mac. So I call it a Rusty Mac, I guess. We've come to the decision. That will be called a Rusty Mac and give it a real Australian feel. And I have used Mac with other whiskies before. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes with the Fortis. So let's get into it. It's a pretty simple drink. We're starting with 2 ounces, 60 mils of the whiskey. And to the whiskey, going to add 3/4 of an ounce, depending on your taste, 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce of the Mac liqueur. I'm going to add a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters, somewhat traditional for an old-fashioned. And an old-fashioned also usually has a sweetener in it, whether you put caster sugar, a sugar cube, or sugar syrup. I'm going to put just a little bit of sugar syrup. This is actually an oleosaccharum I made, which means I put sugar with fruit peel, so it's not just a sugar syrup, it's got a little citrus tang to it. And I'm just putting, I'm not even going to measure this. This is like 5 mils, a bar spoon, just a touch of sugar syrup to add to that. And we're going to stir that and that nice and cold. Also doesn't hurt if it dilutes a little because it's a higher proof whiskey in here. And then this is going to go into a chilled glass. If you're a regular to this channel, you'll know I rarely bother with garnishes on my cocktails because I'm making them for myself. Who am I trying to impress? Well, arguably you, so maybe I should do garnishes, but an old-fashioned is one I really like to just have an orange peel in. Just that little bit of citrus takes an old-fashioned to a next level. And as this is essentially a little variation on an old-fashioned, I'm going to peel a nice strip from this orange. And I'm going to express the oils over the glass. I just realized I haven't poured the drink. Allow me to pour the drink. Straining our cocktail into the old-fashioned glass with a nice big cube of ice in there. It's got a lovely rich colour from the whiskey and the Mac in there. Now, as I said, going to express some oils over this and also just wipe the peel around the glass. So the first thing you get is a nice citrus tang. And now let's do the taste. Oh, that is just fantastic. That is so good. Like I said, I rarely bother with a garnish, but something as simple as the oils from orange peel, just add to this. But the Mac is not an overly strong flavor, and there's just a little bit of sweetener in here as well. But this, so there's 2 shots of 100 proof whiskey in here. And I'm not a whiskey drinker. Oh, but this is some easy drinking right here. Well, I'm in the middle of winter. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but this has seen me through more than 1 or 2 cold winter nights. I tell you what. Oh, this is absolutely worth trying. Look, if you're in a part of the world where you can't get Mac, I feel bad for you because it's actually a really nice drop But this little variation, obviously there are different nut liqueurs. Often there's hazelnut or almond flavored liqueurs around the world. It's worth experimenting. An old fashioned, just a classic old fashioned, is a classic for a reason. It's a great drink. But just putting a little bit of liqueur to your taste in one gives you just a fun variation to an old fashioned. Ooh, that was crass. I'm not even going to edit that out. That was a sign of appreciation right there. I'm going to leave you now. Hey, if it's your first time to the channel, I don't burp in every video, so please come back, subscribe, maybe tell your friends about it as well. And, you know, let me know, are you a fan of the old fashioned? Have you tried variations? What is your favorite little twist to do in an old fashioned? Because it is a drink that lends itself to quite a few riffs, and you can keep yourself amused for ages. Me, I'm quite a fan of doing it with the macadamia and wattle seed liqueur. I'm not promising this is the only one of these I'm drinking tonight, but it's the one I'm drinking now. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, I'll say cheers.